Hey, this is Mike Johnson with Street Punk Productions, and today I would like to tell you about how you can put your small business, your product, your service on the pages of sites like the New York Times. And the reason why you would want to do that, it seems pretty obvious. They have an established brand, an established audience, which is the sort that any business might want to aspire to be exposed to. And I'm going to show you how to do it for essentially pennies a day. If we look at the website of the New York Times, I'm going to start a screen share here for you. Um, we'll just have a look at where some of the ad spots are. On the front page, we have ads here, here. Here's a nice sized one here, and this is actually a size that would fit a click-to-play video. Um, so if you have a video commercial for your product or your company or your service, imagine that. People come to the New York Times, and they're reading through here, and there's you right there. And here's another one right there, a smaller one for a play, I believe. And so if you're an artist, think about that too, exposure for your play, film, music in the New York Times. Um, and we come down here, how do we do all this? And the New York Times also has video, and you see Acura here. There is a commercial over the New York Times video. And here is a nice text ad box from Google AdWords. And that's all well and good, correct? Except I'm sure you're thinking that the price has to be pretty phenomenal. But let's look at that. And here we are in AdWords, and I want to show you some possible placements and numbers and types of ads that you can put in the New York Times. NewYorkTimes.com, for example. This is just multiple locations over the general website of the New York Times. You could have either text ads or display/image ads. NewYorkTimes.com, which is the front page more or less, text ads, display ads, and in-stream video ads. So you have all three types of ads available in the New York Times. And as you see here, in multiple locations, the traffic is 1 million to 1.5 million a week, and the main page is 50 million to 100 million a week. Now imagine that. Your product or service appearing on the front page of the New York Times potentially 50 to 100 million times a week. That's pretty awesome. And there's also mobile New York Times, 5 million to 10 million times a week, in various sections. Business pages, if you have a product that you would like advertised in the business pages, right there. Just to give you some idea of different sections that are available. Health pages, maybe you have a medical product, a medical service. New York Times, New York region, if you want to be specific to there. The blogs of the New York Times, where you can get all sorts of interesting topics, and all three ad formats are available at 4 to 4.5 million views per week. Um, and you fashion and style pages, if you have a product that pertains to fashion and style. You can target technology pages if you are a startup and you want big exposure. Well, there you go. And science pages, you can target U.S. and world news pages, art, dance, TV, and music. So there's the TV and music crowd or authors can be in that section, and home and garden. That's all well and good. And the New York Times isn't the only possible location. We can also look at Forbes or similar publications to that. I know Forbes is in here. That's why I did that. It just didn't pull it up as the top one there. Okay, well, Forbes is in here, as are, Entrepreneur.com, Inc., many others. And as long as we're on the topic of the New York Times, if we go over here, this would be where a video ad would be set up. And you can target either the New York Times video channel on YouTube or specific videos on the New York Times video channel if you would like to run your ads as a pre-roll or as a display ad on the channel or the watch page of a specific video or the channel page. You can do that from here. And there's, many different videos the New York Times has put out. And right there, this one, for example, the animals of Chernobyl. got 522,803 views. That's how many times, if you had an ad right here, you would potentially appear to a viewer of this video. Or if you ran a pre-roll ad, that would have the same effect. Actually, pre-roll ads are much more effective in terms of getting people to watch them than are these ads. Pre-roll numbers are about, for me when I run campaigns, about one view per 4 exposures, and on these ads that are on this side, the suggested video ads, it's about one view per 1,000 exposures. So there's quite a bit of difference there. So there is indeed a lot of potential to have your product appear in really high-profile sites, and but how do you do that at a normal budget? That's the question. And that's what AdWords is so great, because you can set your own daily budget, and the bottom limit I think is $1. However, views on sites like the New York Times usually cost quite a bit more than that. Depending on the keywords you use and things like that, the competition, you're probably looking at a minimum of maybe $1.60 per view. However, every impression you get, which is the ad appearing on the page, like we looked at all those ads and we didn't click on any of them, those are all free, because the person who sees it didn't click on it. But at the same time, what you get is essentially what I call a billboard effect, where you have your sign there, it's appearing in the New York Times, whatever your display ad says about you or shows about you, they're going to see that. And even if they don't click on it right then, it still puts the image into your head. And that's great, because if you get one view per 1,000 exposures, okay, you paid $1.60 for that one view, but 1,000 people saw your name. And if you set your daily spend at $16 a day, okay, you had 10 people that actually watched your video ad or clicked on your display ad, and if the ratio is still 1,000 to 1, then you had 16,000 people that became aware of your business, your name, your brand, your product, and you're not charged anything for that. So there's some really great potential there for small business in large, high-profile, big brand publications and sites on the web. And if you'd like to learn more, feel free to give me a call, send me an email, or hook up with me in Helpouts, where I can look at your site and give you some advice on how to make it better. Thanks.